finger roll. Ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs. Step back, hit it 3. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy. Just to see the Knicks play. Make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us. Whole city is wild. This is New York. Why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty. Yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese or the lobster mac with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live by. Hey, yo, first quarter in, we gon' turn it up. Gotta warm up first, then we taking it dub. By the third quarter in, no, they ain't catching up. Gotta stay in the lead before the shot clock buzz. If the Knicks get a win, we gon' do it again. Make the finals once before, we gon' do it again. Bounce back in the fourth, we gon' do it again. It's been a while since the chip, but we gon' do it again, yeah. Yo, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Yo, put your hands up. If you from New York, put your hands up. Yo, look, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Look, put your hands up. Hey, yo, New York City, put your hands up. Sky, baby.
What up? What up? What's going on? We are here. You are there. And y'all know why we're here. It's the Church Guys post-game show for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference first round between the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks. Knicks get a 94-93 win tonight. They get a 94-93 win. There you see it on the screen. All the information is there on the screen. Let me make it big for you so you can see. 94-93, a throwback of the 90s. This was 90s style basketball. All of the 90s stars were in attendance. It was interesting to see Chauncey Billups and Tim Hardaway Sr., who wasn't a part of this rivalry, but was a part of another Knick rivalry with the Miami Heat. Allen Houston was in the building. Patrick Ewing was in the building, and we'll talk about that. He must be working with Karl Anthony Towns, and I'll tell y'all why in a minute. He must be, because I saw a couple of moves late in this game that were vintage Patrick Ewing moves. But we're gonna talk about that. But the Knicks get a much needed win. After, I don't want to say they blew a 16-point lead more than Detroit came back, because the Knicks defense was fantastic all game long. They just went cold, and Detroit started making shots. But 94-93 is the final score. Knicks win. Another huge game from Captain Clutch. Jalen Brunson must have a Superman S on his chest underneath that uniform because he went down with an injury late in the third quarter that looked bad. It looked bad. I thought he wasn't coming back, J-Mac. I really did. I thought he wasn't coming back.
I was still traveling, so I didn't get to see it, but I heard them talking about how bad it looked, and on the radio they were basically saying he wasn't coming back.
So let me tell you what happened. Basically, Schroeder reached and stripped him in the backcourt. He's diving back for the loose ball. Schroeder dove in front of him, and Schroeder comes up with the ball, and as he's getting up, Jalen's right ankle gets caught underneath Schroeder's backside and the underside of Schroeder's leg. So it got wedged there and twisted. So I was like, oh, he's not coming back. This is the same injured ankle, and the way it went down, it looked very bad. I'm going to see if I can find the video at some point for y'all to see it, but it looked bad. And I said, he's not coming back. So when he came back out to the bench, I was like, okay, but what does he have left? Clearly, he had a lot left. Clearly, Captain Clutch. Listen, and I really need L to get on here. I know he just got out of service not too long ago. But, I mean, listen, I want to be clear. Some of the stuff that he said about Jalen Brunson is warranted.
Absolutely, he was absolutely right about 95% of the stuff he said. Absolutely.
But this dude, in the final 5 minutes of a basketball game, there is nobody in the league better.
Can't stop him one-on-one. You can't stop him.
You can't.
If you play him one-on-one, mano y mano in the box, you not stopping him. It's crazy.
On a day where OG Anunoby was terrible from the field, which is not going to happen again. OG was 3 for 14. On a day where Mikal Bridges was terrible from the field, 3 for 12.
But he hit 2 big threes in that fourth quarter.
He did hit 2 big. But that's why you get guys like that. And
right.
I got a couple of soapbox takes today.
I know you do.
I got a couple of them. I'm gonna start with Mikal Bridges. For all of you who have been on Mikal Bridges all year long, shut up. This is what playoff experience is for. This is why he was brought here for now, not for the regular season. He was brought here to make those shots after getting defensive stops, which he got all game long. His defense today, listen, once again, you had Tobias Harris shoot 6 of 15, which we will live with. Tim Hardaway Jr. was 5 of 16. This is what we want. Malik Beasley, 5 of 12, 3 of 9. That's all Mikal Bridges because obviously OG is the primary defender on Cade Cunningham. That's Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges shutting down everybody else. And so, yeah, he was 1 for 10 to start the game, but he was 2 for 2 when it mattered. I just preached.
You sure did. You sure did. Don't give me a sermon for next Sunday.
Yes, he was 1 for 10 through the first 44 minutes of this game. But in the final 4 minutes, he was 2 for 2.
It was crazy. And those were tough 3-point shots. I mean, let's really look at these 3-point shots are on the run.
Falling out of bounds.
Momentum carrying him to the sideline, and he has to square up. And he switched both of them. There were no humbles on those shots.
No, they were down.
Unbelievable. I know. So I know Mikal.
That's number one. All the Mikal hate stops.
Done.
Stops. Like if I see a post with Mikal hate, I'm just going to put the stat line from tonight up. This guy was just as big as Captain Clutch in the final couple minutes of this game.
We needed him, Clutch, because Captain Clutch, he kept keeping them within 8-6, 8-6. But you needed somebody else to back him up, and Mikal stabilized the ship until Cat stepped up.
He did. And what can you say about Karl Anthony Towns today?
Oh, Mike.
Karl Anthony Towns, welcome to the NBA playoffs. Another great game, 27 points, 9 rebounds, while in foul trouble. Let's just call it what it is. While in foul trouble.
Yeah, 5 fouls.
Big shots in the fourth quarter as well. In fact, he and Jalen Brunson together outscored the Detroit Pistons by themselves.
They had the stat up on the screen. Yes.
They outscored the Detroit Pistons in the fourth quarter. And when your other guys aren't hitting, again, great job from Josh Hart tonight. 14 points, 10 bounds, 5 assists tonight for this afternoon for Josh Hart. He came out shooting tonight, which was great because it kept Jalen Duren honest. He couldn't roam, which allowed Cat to get loose early. And that's what Josh has to do. And we've been saying it for weeks. Josh has got to keep defenses honest with his 3-point shooting, and he did that early. Knicks got out to a 16-point lead, but I didn't panic because I knew Detroit was going to punch back. I mean, it's the playoffs. No lead is safe. Just ask the Memphis Grizzlies.
Ask the Clippers yesterday.
Which was another fantastic finish. Listen, for all that has been said, this has been a great NBA playoffs. And I have found myself watching all the games this weekend because they've all been good. Too.
I was home yesterday, and I just said, I'm crashing out on the couch. And I'm watching again, and it was a pleasure.
They've been all great games this weekend. Man, Scottie Pippen Jr. has arrived. We'll get back to our game in a second. He has arrived.
Man, I'm so happy for that dude. Yeah. That dude had a game yesterday.
Yeah. Scottie Pippen Jr. almost single-handedly extended that series. So, I mean, I hope Memphis does the right thing and they sign him to a long-term deal and give Ja a running mate because Scottie Pippen Jr. has arrived.
Great
So
shooting guard. Great shooting
yes,
guard.
yes, and he's a perfect complement off of Ja. He is a
Yes.
perfect complement off of Ja in Memphis. And if they keep that core together, Memphis is going to be a problem in the coming years. Now that he's been identified. But getting back to our game, and I'm gonna say this again. I need everybody. I done already jumped on a few posts on today. I jumped on Keisha's post as well because she was like, "That was a foul." Let me be clear. Yes, it was a foul. Josh Hart, Deuce McBride, absolutely. No, it was Josh.
No, it was Josh.
No, it was Josh.
It was
Josh
Josh.
absolutely fouled Tim Hardaway on that shot. But you know what? I don't care. Because that makes up for all. That is finally consistent officiating.
Right.
Because people got bumped all game long.
Right, we're
and
going to
no
ignore
fouls
all
were
the
called.
other fouls that they didn't call, and you're just going to focus on that one because it's the last shot of the game. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't
And
work that way.
That is as far as these officials go, because we know it wasn't. That was marginal contact.
And let me tell you,
Go ahead.
You go back and look at it, Tim Hardaway double clutched before Josh fouled him.
Right, so he didn't
And that's
even
why they didn't call it. He double clutched because he thought Josh was going to block the shot. Mm-hmm. That's what happened.
And that's probably why they
didn't
didn't call it, because he fumbled the ball. Once you fumble the ball, that's a loose ball at
They're
that
not
point.
going to call that on the last shot.
And not at the last play of the game. There will never be a loose ball foul called on the last play of the game.
No, they're not going to call it. No.
If you fumble it, they might give you a foul call there, but in this game, he didn't deserve it because the officials let them play. I got one more. For all of those who I've seen all over social media this week talking about Jalen Brunson and foul baiting and all this other nonsense, Jalen Brunson took 4 free throws this entire game.
Thank you.
And still had 32 points and 11 assists.
Still had a double-double.
32, 11, and 5 for Jalen tonight. Another strong point guard game. So stop the slander from Mikal Bridges. It was a foul, and it was a good non-call. Based upon the way they called the game, that was the right non-call.
Right, because they weren't calling stuff all that third quarter when Detroit makes their run. I went back and looked. They were beating Jalen up when he came back in. They beat my son up.
Yep.
They beat
And
him
nothing.
up.
Okay.
And nobody's saying nothing about that. We just
Cat got beat up on every
last one.
drive. Trying to force the action and make the refs make a call. He was getting beat up. I mean, I don't like him doing that, but he was getting fouled. But I'm just like, okay, you got to adjust now, Cat, because they're not going to give it to you.
They gotta leave Bodega Cat alone too. That baseline behind the backboard jump shot,
That was
all
Patrick Ewing.
net.
Patrick Ewing.
It didn't touch the rim.
That's
the shot. That's when I knew the Knicks were winning the game when he hit that shot.
If Cat continues to work with Big Pat and he adds that to his arsenal, he becomes completely unstoppable.
If he gets that drop, they call it the drop step.
That drop step.
If he develops that drop step jump.
That drop step fall away, it's over. But this is now 2 games in a row where he has used vintage Patrick Ewing moves. That's why I'm sitting there going, Pat's got to be working with him. And
But
I see
he hit
Pat's
he hit a near logo 3.
a near logo
to put him
3.
up.
Like
He hit the game winner.
He was the game winner. That was the game winner. I mean, even on that last play where Jalen missed, that would have put us up 3. He got bumped. No call. Okay. All right.
Play on.
It was consistent. Get back and play defense. Cool. And the Knicks did that. Great defensive stop at the end of that game. Great contest by OG as always. Yeah, listen, Cade had a decent game today.
He had a
Cade
triple-double.
finished with 25.
He had a triple-double.
But he shot 11 for 23.
And
11 for
look how many
25.
turnovers
Yeah,
he
11
had.
for 23.
He had like 6-7 turnovers.
And he turned the ball over 6 times. So, listen, with guys like that, you know you're not going to shut him down completely.
Let him have it.
But if you can make him work that hard, you've done your job. And again, OG didn't shoot well, but he was great. OG was great defensively. And that's what it calls down to. The Knicks are now up 3-1. Garden on Tuesday night with a chance to. They need to just come out. The Garden is going to be nuts because our point guard has gotten slandered and booed and screamed at and said "F you too" on the road for 2 games. The Garden is going to be absolutely nuts on Tuesday night.
Hey, D-Lo, let's
Yeah.
not lose sight of this. The Knicks went on the road and took 2 games.
For the first time since 1999, by the way.
Yeah, let's not lose sight of that.
Yeah, I went and
They
looked that
won
up. For
two,
the first time since 1999, the Knicks won back-to-back road games.
and they did it under this coach. And I give credit where credit is due. They did it under Tibbs.
Firstly, I will give him credit for this. I saw the guy because I was able to get out early enough to where I caught the beginning of the game. So the game plan looked strong. Jalen was off the ball. The first play went to Cat, and I'm like, okay, I see this. We're mixing it up early. So finally, he's learned. Let's get everybody involved first. Jalen was looking to set everybody else up, and it was working, which allowed them to go up. Again, Detroit is a grimy team. They're going to be physical. I think they're way too physical. And Detroit's biggest problem is they have not learned that yes, you are to be more physical in the playoffs, but they're borderline dirty. That hip check, Jalen Duren on Josh Hart on that loose ball on the rebound, that was a hip check. He wasn't going for the ball. That could have very easily been a flagrant.
They're young, so they don't know how. Those veterans need to teach them how to pick their spot.
Well, see, here's the problem though, because you got the coach yelling about foul calls for things that are fouls.
That's the problem.
And as a coach, in that moment, yes, you want your team to play aggressively. But I know this as a coach because if I have certain players on my young 8-9-year-old team that they're good defenders, so I teach them to be aggressive. So when they get called for fouls, I'm not yelling at the referees.
Bro, they ran the 1-4 flat down the stretch, and the coach never. Bickerstaff, I was very surprised because we've been giving him.
He never blitzed Brunson. Yep, he never blitzed him.
He never blitzed. How do you not blitz Jalen
I'm gonna tell you
Brunson?
what it is because you've now bought into the hype of the defensive prowess of your team. You're arrogant enough to think that Dennis Schroeder or Asor Thompson can guard Jalen Brunson one-on-one when the game is on the line. Nobody can guard Jalen Brunson one-on-one with the game on the line. The best coaches in the league blitz him at the end of games.
That's why he was voted clutch player of the year. I mean, duh.
So Bickerstaff lost his game for his team. Bickerstaff lost his game for his team.
That's why I brought it up. Listen, once they cut the lead down to like about, I think it was 3 or 4. No, they went back up 5 after Hardaway hit the 3. They should have been blitzing Brunson right there.
Yeah.
Right there. It should have been blitz. It should have been anybody but Brunson. That should have been the
That should have been the mindset. Like,
Yes.
we call Cat out, let Cat beat us. Somebody else got to beat us. I mean, Cat did beat you because he hit that 3.
Yeah, Cat.
But
that 3 was dirty. That was filthy. Whew. That 3 was filthy. Whew.
What's up, Bishop Woodall? Bishop, log all the way in, hit the screen so that you can come all the way in because your comments, I see you're kind of watching from the hallway, so I can see your comments on my phone, but they don't pop up on the screen on the computer, so I can't get them on the screen so J Mac can see them. But Bishop Woodall is out here, and yes, Bickerstaff was outcoached. Bishop Woodall agrees with us. Bickerstaff was completely out. He was outcoached. When was the last time we said that?
I don't think we've said it all season.
When did we ever?
Listen.
Must be a full moon tonight.
That's over 500. We've never said Tibbs outcoached anybody. We just said the Knicks won. We never said he outcoached them.
Right.
It's the first time we got to mark this down.
L, what's going on? Listen, bro, I'm sorry. I said it earlier. You probably weren't on. You gotta let this JB thing go now. Just after today.
Yo.
Yes, Bishop
JB,
Woodall. Now now we can see your comments. Yes. Now we can see your comments. Perfect. But
yeah,
L,
we
you
can
gotta
see you now, Bishop.
L, you gotta let this JB thing go, bro. And again, not that he should play hero ball. He absolutely should not.
No, we agree with that, yeah.
But we totally agree. But now this is 2 games in a row where he's played within the flow of the offense and then said, okay, it's not Dame time, it's Jalen time in the final 5 minutes of a game where he has taken over and put the team on his back after coming back after being injured. So, Leave.
And the announcer
Let's just
said,
leave JB alone.
we're gonna be
Let's
talking
just
about
leave
this
JB
game.
alone.
We're gonna be talking about this game for a while because he was Willis Reed like. I mean, we don't like,
Yeah, the
but
announcer said
he
that.
was Willis
The,
Reed
the
like.
announcer said that. They
The
said,
announcer
this is
said that.
akin to Willis Reed returning because, you saw the body language kind of go down a bit because I was looking over at the bench and then I watched Josh Hart trying to get everybody back up, and get them back into it. So kudos to Josh Hart for that, for being a leader in that moment. But when Jalen comes back into that game and then immediately scores when he comes back into the game, and then he hit 2 big threes when the Knicks were down 8 to get them right back into it. They traded baskets back and forth, and then once again the Knicks got stops when they needed it.
That step back that Jalen hit over Dennis Schroeder.
Oh
That
man,
step back 3 was so filthy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah, that was that. And he kind of stared down Dennis Schroeder like, you really think you can guard me?
Yes.
You
yes,
really think you
saw
can
that.
guard me?
Yes. Yes. That's
Let,
step back.
let me remind you, I still see a Brooklyn jersey on you.
Oh
I don't
my
care if
God.
you're wearing a Pistons jersey. You the same cat I used to roast in Brooklyn. You the same cat I roasted while you were in Atlanta. I'm the same guy. His clutch game was yes, but we also told you L said he acknowledges his clutch game, but we also told you L, like, listen, if he comes out the next 2 games and plays the way he's supposed to, which he has today, 32 points, 11 assists. L, he played a great, and he started off the game. I caught the beginning of the game. He started the game off getting everyone involved. He started the game off getting everybody involved, and that was huge. Bishop Woodall said, honestly, brothers, this game may have been the turning point for their playoff run.
It is. It is the turning point.
I think this is not for nothing, and I'm sure you may agree with this, J-Mac. I'm sure L agrees with the Knicks, especially if they finish this out on Tuesday. This was the series they needed.
Well, everybody said that this series, whoever comes out of this is going to be a tougher team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think not only are the Knicks going to be tougher, I think, and I think people forget this. The Knicks are still learning how to play together with their whole team.
Yep.
We're still, this team is still learning how to play each other, play with each other. And it was no more evident today than that shot on the baseline that cat
from Carl Anthony. That was vintage 1994 Patrick Ewing. Like, literally caught it back to the basket, gave that little hard fake, then turn around. I'm like,
and
I've seen that move before. Duran was there, right? But how many times did Patrick hit that over Alonzo Mourning, over Hakeem Olajuwon, over great defenders?
Robinson, you name it. He hit that shot.
Pat is showing him how to use his size as an advantage to where even a good defender can't get to your shot. And because that was one of the things that was always great about Patrick Ewing. He could make that turnaround whenever he felt like it. Patrick Ewing used to make that turnaround jumper whenever he felt like it. And Cat looked like vintage Pat on those shots. Robin said the 5 Cat. It can be. I'd still like to see more of it.
Yeah, even though they've been winning, I still want to see that double big lineup more.
I do have one knock on Tibbs for this game, and that is when Cat picked up foul number 4. You still have, and Robinson is clearly not 100% today. What do you say?
Bro, I'm sitting here looking at the replay on MSG, and they brought up a good point. They just showed it. Hardaway kicks his leg out.
Oh, he's not getting that call.
He kicked his leg out. He was trying to bait for a foul.
So if anything, they could have called that an offensive foul.
So they just said it as it was a play on.
So that's a play on. Good job again. Good job by the officials.
Yeah, he does a little kick. You'll see he does a soccer kick.
Well then definitely. I mean, either way, it was a good non-call. Because even if he goes straight up, again, the way the game was officiated, that non-call was consistent with the way the game was officiated. It was consistent. Like, Hart didn't land underneath him. He was going next to him. Like, I could see them making that call if Hart's right underneath him and he lands on Hart. Because then that's obviously, one of those situations where the jumping player is vulnerable, and that's what they're trying to get out of the league. But Hart, again, high IQ, jumps to the side, and he grazes him. Again, could it have been
Oh,
a
yeah.
foul? Yeah. It could have gone either way. But, hold on, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Gotham.
Well, they showed the other angle. Actually, it was a foul. They showed the other angle. Josh Hart jumps into him first.
And
But hey,
again,
that's
the
why you
way the
keep the
game
game
was
close.
being called, it was
Yeah.
still the right non-call.
And that's why you keep playing, because the referees are human. They can swallow the whistle at any time. You never stop playing. Bottom line.
Bottom line.
You
Bottom line.
keep
I'm with
playing
you
till
100%.
the whistle sounds. That's it. I'll take it. We running out of Detroit. We heading back to Madison. We heading back to Gotham City.
And right now there's a party going on 33rd Street right
They had the
now.
watch party out there.
And they were definitely loud and strong for our New York Knicks, who get it done for the first time in literally 25 years. The Knicks win on 2 games on the road. For the
And
first
that was
time in
under Van
25
Gundy.
years.
We've never done. We didn't. I don't think we. The only time we've ever done that under. I don't think we've ever done it under Raleigh.
No.
Yeah, we've never. We did it under Van Gundy, but we in all those great Raleigh years. You look at Raleigh's record in game 3s and 4s. Not good in the playoffs.
No. Hasn't been. So another great win for the Knicks today. So with the opportunity now to close it out on Tuesday night back at the Garden. A lot of good stuff to talk about tonight in a game where the Knicks only shot 37%. When you can go to Detroit, only shoot 37% from the floor and still come out with a win, that really does well. Detroit actually shot 43% today for the game. They only shot, but the Knicks did what they needed to do. Detroit shot 7 of 29 from 3, which was the game right there. The Knicks defended the three-point line well. I didn't see it. I saw one wide open 3 that Hardaway missed. That was the only wide open shot Detroit got from 3 today, which was, we've been yelling about the Knicks three-point defense all year long. I got to give it to them. Tonight, they were engaged, and absolutely, Bishop Woodall says, but we ball players and know this is a shooter. Game on the line. You shoot to score, not to draw a foul.
And
He was
that's
looking
what
to
they
draw a
said he
foul.
was doing.
Yeah, like you got to be trying to make that shot.
You can't rely on the referees to bail you out in the finals. And the thing was, it wasn't
Bro,
like the
we ain't
ball
got to
was
worry about
flat.
Piston fans buying tickets. Game five's already sold out.
Yeah.
Game 5's already sold out. You ain't got to worry about that. They're not getting in
Yeah.
our building.
And see, the thing is, it was just like that play against Philly last year. The ball trickled out to him. So it
Same
wasn't
thing.
like on a pass. So
Right.
it was a broken play. So
Yep.
they're not going to bail you out on a broken play.
Definitely
You got to
not.
make that shot on a broken play.
Yep.
You got to make that. This is the NBA. This ain't high school. This ain't pickup. You gotta score it.
I'm going to keep saying it. Great job by the officials. Great job by the officials. Perfect non-call there. And again, and the Shelly, the refs officiated that game. Listen, I don't like when the game gets too chippy, but hey, that was the way they were calling the game. And I'm the one thing I do agree with Coach Tibbs on is I don't care either way. If you're gonna call it tight both ways. If you're gonna let it be loose both ways. That's all I ask for.
I just saw a replay. They're going over some replays.
Yep.
When the score was 84-88 Detroit, Jalen throws a skip pass across the court to Cat. Duran is sagging down in the paint for whatever
Yeah, I saw that.
reason.
That was a great pass. And
What
it
a pass by
got
Jalen.
Cat a wide open 3.
A wide open 3 on the elbow. He knocks it down. Makes it a 1-point game. So there's a lot of plays that Detroit has to go back and look at and take responsibility for.
Absolutely. Let me pull this. Here There we go. So let me have some fun. Add a quick new element. Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah, Allen. What's the
There it
name?
is.
Wally is showing it.
Yep, there it is right now. We're at the Wally Wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's watch along as they break it down.
Gaps, and so is Josh Hart. This is called playing the gaps. So I said this earlier on. Cade Cunningham had 5 sets of eyes looking at him in the fourth quarter, and that's really hard to score against a good elite defender one-on-one with everyone in the gaps. So what does Josh Hart do? There's a good job of forcing him to spin once, because now Josh Hart has an angle to come in here and get the deflection. Now Josh has to be careful because there's a three-point shooter that's capable over here. So if he's going to go for this steal, he better get it. And he does. He gets his hands
That
on
was a
the
great
ball.
play by Josh Hart.
It was
Absolutely.
absolutely.
With everyone eyeballing him and everyone in the gaps, because he really.
But it's like
Yeah, there was
you said,
nowhere for him to go. Yep.
But it's like you said, it's Cade Cunningham a bust.
Defense is
It's like
so
you
close
said.
in help
Yep.
position.
That's their
because
offense.
They couldn't get any pick and rolls to help him out offensively. That's why he turned the ball over so much, because he couldn't get anything rhythmic-wise for his offense.
Off his leg, out of bounds. That's his 3rd turnover of the fourth quarter. He had 7 turnovers.
Oh, 7. I
in
thought he had
this game.
6. 7.
Seven turnovers.
An Achilles heel for Cade Cunningham. 6 turnovers a game so far in this series, Bill.
Shout out to the Gotham Sports app
From the floor in the fourth
and
quarter.
MSG Network for this part of
14
it.
and 10 and a 3-ball there. His post-game reaction is coming up after this.
Beautiful.
Good stuff
Nice.
that we're seeing.
Something about the
Nice.
We keep adding elements, but this is how we do.
Beautiful. It is great. Love it. Love
This is what we do. So Shelly says, I promise you the Knicks work my blood pressure today. Listen, they work all of our blood pressure constantly. I'm about to go take a nap after this.
But the risk, the reward reward outweighs the risk.
Listen, the
They are
reward
up,
outweighs
they are
up
up
3-1.
3-1.
And now I get to go root for Orlando at home today to try to beat Boston.
Well, you know I'm rooting for Boston in this series because I want my.
Oh no, I
Cavs
want Boston
back.
to win the series, but I want Orlando to
To
give
give
them a
them
hard
7
time.
games.
Yes.
I want 7 games, 7 games.
I want, and Orlando has handled them well. Boston, I guess, thought after the first 2 games at home that they were just going to run away with it. Orlando showed them something different in Game 3. So hopefully Game 4 will happen also just across the way so that everyone is aware. Lakers lead after the first quarter. In the other game, they lead the Wolves by 4 as the Wolves look to go up 3-1 in their best of 7 first-round series. And I'd like to see the Wolves go up 3-1 as well.
Oh, I would love it.
I want LeBron down 3-1. I mean, of course, they're going to come out and go hard in an attempt to try to get this done. But I am hoping that the Wolves can definitely pull it out. Golden State beats Houston last night.
Yeah, I saw that game.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I want Golden State out too. They're another team I want out. I'm ready for the changing of the guard, so to speak. I need these older teams and older players to have early playoff exits, so these new younger teams can finally take their place. And I want to see what the league does now, because Golden State, if they get knocked out in the first round, they're not box office. Miami's already going home. Miami's going home.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
OKC has finished their series already. So, I want to start to see, I'm hoping that Denver knocks off the Clippers. Denver is a recent champion, but they're still, a young enough team that I like to see them continue on.
Can I say something about that
Of course.
series? Let me tell you, man. Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, he's been great. He has been fun. He's been the one good man. When he's healthy, man, he is probably the best player in the league when he's healthy.
Because he has that old school game. He's got that 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull up. He gets to his spot, and you can't block the jumper. You know it's coming, but you can't stop it.
He is proof that you don't need a bag when you have real skill and basketball IQ.
When you
And
know how to get to your spots.
you know how to get to your spots. You're a high IQ player. You're doing great things on the defensive end because he plays both ways. Which Kawhi is also one of the best defenders there is.
He's a dog.
Like
He's a dog.
when he's healthy, Kawhi Leonard is one of those. He's proved it in Toronto. He's one of those rare people that can put a team on his back and lead them to a championship. He absolutely can.
Listen, even Harden didn't have a great game yesterday, but he was good enough to for them to win. It took a last second tip dunk,
Yeah,
alley-oop dunk, whatever you
that
wanna call
that
it.
was close. That was so close.
But it was good.
It was
I
good.
looked
Yeah,
at
it was definitely.
'Cause
I
they
watched it
showed
like
the
4
angle-
times.
They finally showed the angle looking down into the basket.
Yeah, and he had
that's what-
released it. Yep.
Yeah, but
released it.
it was close, man. You got give the refs credit on that because they
Yeah.
called it good on the floor.
Well, that's what you. In order to review it, you have to call it good on the floor in order for you to be able to even review it. If they call it no good, and then it ends up being good, they knew they were gonna get roasted. That's why they call it good, and then we just go back and look at the tape just to make sure. So you can. That's a call where you can always back out of it, but
Right.
you can't call it no good and then call it good later. If you call it no good, game is over. Well, in this case, they would have gone to overtime.
And for all of these ball players that's like, oh, Detroit is gonna beat the Knicks. Y'all,
Those are not
y'all
ball
would-
players. I'm learning more and more. Those are not ball players. Those are because
I mean, y'all would have to be crazy to think
They're
this
Knick
team
haters.
who has to rely on Malik Beasley to be the second option
or Tim
and
Hardaway Jr.
Tobias Harris and
or
Hardaway
Tobias
Jr.
Harris.
That's who you're counting on knocking out a top 5 offense, top 10 offense in the league.
You're
It's
hoping
not gonna happen.
you're hoping that 3 guys who have never been higher than the 3rd option on a team, and that was Tobias in Philly. 3 guys who have never been higher than the 3rd option on a team is going to knock off a top 5 offense on the other end, and they're going to be able to. There is a reason why none of these guys were ever the 1 or the 2 on a team. Cade needs help, legitimate scoring help.
I mean, and I have no problem with Cade. Cade is gonna he's a star. He's a star.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
but it's like you said, he needs help.
Woodall says he's preaching the home going for the Heat.
Listen. I'll be at the burial.
Right,
I'll be at
we'll
the
meet
grave.
you at the it's going to be the burial is in Cancun, so we coming. Yeah, they're in, listen. You know we don't believe it. Woodall calls those type of Detroit fans that claim to be ball players attention seekers. Like, I mean, because the reality is, you either you have not really watched Detroit, or
you don't know ball.
you don't know ball. And the
There's
reality,
no way that team. I was thinking they was gonna get at least 2, but my brother right here, he
I called.
it.
I had to sit. I had to really sit and think about it. I'm like, nah, Knicks in 5.
My brother said
Knicks
it.
in 5.
He said it. I said 6. He said no. I'm sticking to my prediction of Knicks in 5. He said it.
And this is after game 2, after Detroit got their game.
He said I'm
Knicks in
still
5.
sticking to Knicks in 5. Yes, you did. I got to give my brothers due.
Because Detroit's not good.
They're not.
They're not good. They want to give you the bad boys persona. Don't get me wrong. They are a good defensive team.
That's marketing. That's for marketing the playoffs. That's all. They're not no bad boys. Like you said, Malik Beasley, when has he ever been a tough guy? It's the first time he's been tough.
The way the Knicks were limping into the playoffs, absolutely. We all thought Detroit had a chance. But remember, on our show right before the playoffs started and we gave our predictions, I said Knicks in 5.
I said I was worried about I admit. I said I was with Butler on that. I was worried about Detroit. I ain't gonna switch up now.
No, exactly. Just like I
was
didn't
worried.
after the Knicks dropped game 2, I still Knicks in 5. I'm not changing my
Yeah,
prediction.
you did. You stuck to it. I give it.
I'm
But me,
not
I was
changing
with Butler. When this thing first started, I was with Butler because we were saying we did not want. We was in the chat saying me and him was saying we didn't want Detroit.
I didn't fear Detroit because I've been calling them fake tough all year. Remember, I've been calling
You
them
have.
fake tough.
You
like
have.
I'm like, this team they're not real. There's
You
nothing
said it.
real about this team. I watched their body language in the first half, and their heads were down. They were demoralized, and the Knicks were only up 8 at this point, but they were getting outplayed. This is a team that came out tight. They're young, and again, it's no shade to Detroit. They're gonna be really good, but they don't have a second option. They have no one who can truly take the pressure off of Cade. Then this is why there are no Cade minutes in the playoffs. Cade is used to having at least a 12 to 15 minute rest. Cade only plays about 30 to 32 minutes a game.
But that you can do that in the regular season.
Right. You
But
can't
you
do
can't
that in
do
the
that
playoffs.
playoff time. You can't do that playoff time, man. And that's the thing. Yeah, you looking at Malik Beasley. Yeah, he can get hot, but because the Knicks defense has been so great,
Cade played
he's not
42
able
minutes
to get
tonight,
into
by
a
the way.
rhythm. Huh?
Cade played 42 minutes tonight, by the way.
And he had 7 turnovers.
Because he played the most minutes on his team. He had to play those minutes because when Cade's not on the floor, their offense grinds to a halt. So you're already not a good scoring team with Cade on the floor.
And bro, just think about this. The Knicks won a 1:00 game.
I'm shocked. When I saw the schedule come out, I'm like, come on, why the NBA doing this to us?
Right, because I was like, oh, 1:00 game. We up 2-1. I was like, oh.
I'm glad it's on national TV and everything, but come
but
on,
those that don't
y'all
know
couldn't put us at 7?
But those that don't know, we absolutely loathe when the Knicks are playing at 1:00 because they always come out lethargic.
Yeah,
And
today they
usually
did.
end up losing that game.
And today they actually came out ready to play.
But they came off of a two-day rest.
They had
which brings me to my next point, D-Lo.
Yep. Go
Because
ahead.
they played at 1:00, because they won, it's going to be like they got 2 days off now. They're done. And they can rest all the rest of the day, day tomorrow.
Oh, if I'm Tibbs, I'm sure they went straight to the airport. Everybody's sleeping in their own bed tonight. So it's essentially like 2 days because everybody's going to get 2 days in their own bed. And for a travel, listen, for us as preachers who travel, we know how important it is to be able to get home and sleep in your own bed, just as preachers. So
it's nothing like sleeping in your own bed after you've been in a hotel room for 2 or 3 days.
Right. So as a ball player, they're going to sleep at home tonight. They're going to sleep at home tomorrow, and they're going into the Garden fresh on Tuesday.
Jalen gonna get treatment on that ankle. We got the best trainers in the NBA.
In the NBA?
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe we got the best trainers.
Oh, absolutely.
They're gonna treat that ankle, and they're gonna put him away. They're gonna put him away Tuesday night.
By contrast, JB only played 39 minutes today.
Wow. Okay, Tibbs. All right.
Now everybody and OG played 39 minutes. Everybody else was up over.
But he was able to push the starters today because they were coming off a 2 days rest.
Yep.
So I didn't mind it today because you're coming off a 2 days rest. So I didn't mind that if he would have pushed them harder. Coming off for 2 days. It's not the every other day schedule. Now Tuesday night in the Garden, we had to make sure that they rested for the stretch run in the fourth.
And especially and yes, but also I can look at it one of two ways. On the plane, you're watching Celtics Magic because if the Magic do manage to win this game, you go into Tuesday looking to close the series out. So I would come into practice on Monday like, listen, we're not gonna work hard today because y'all gonna play big minutes because I need to close these guys out because that series is at least going till next Saturday and we'll have at least a week to get ready. So let's close this out now so we can have a week off to get ready for whoever is next.
We can rest up if we got any Knicks and
injuries. Mitch can get well. You know, they said Mitch had some sort of viral illness, and you could see it. Like he had no arc on his free throws tonight. Mitch has been shooting 70% from free throw, which he's never been very good at it. But he's been good this year. He missed 4 free throws today. I was like, oh, Mitch is not feeling well at all, and you could see it. He was lumbering a little bit, but he did get a couple of big rebounds in the first half. So a great job by Mitch as well to kind of go through it. What about Cavs getting that sweep? Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah, this is a sweep.
You know, they got their sweep, and, you know, they'll probably get their sweep tonight. You know, Miami's done.
And the Bucks are playing tonight. Bucks and Pacers at 9, I think.
Bucks and Pacers. Let me look at the schedule again real quick.
Or is it 9 tomorrow?
No, Bucks and Pacers 9:30 tonight.
9:30 tonight. Yes, I gotta see that.
Celtics Magic. So Lakers Timberwolves is right now. Lakers still lead by 4, by the way, as they're about a quarter of the way through the second quarter. Celtics Magic at 7, and then Pacers Bucks tonight at 9:30. So it'll be another nice long night of basketball.
I was just about to say, bro. Don't have to worry. I'm right. Listen, listen. This is the man cave where I'm at right now.
There you go. There you go.
The TV's right there. The
And
seat is right
on
here.
There you go. Let's listen into MSG Network.
So Mikal Bridges only 3 of 12. He scores 8. Anunoby scores only 8. And this was after each of these guys went for at least 20 in the last game.
Well, he made 2 heroic shots down the stretch.
Yep.
Falling out of bounds, fadeaways when the Knicks couldn't find a way to score a bucket, let alone get a decent shot at the basket. He made 2 really tough shots that kind of kept the Knicks just close enough until Jalen Brunson got back in the game and kind of just...
Again, this video is owned by the MSG Networks.
So it doesn't matter what that box score says. You guys, we'll all break it down. All that matters is a 94-93 win. I don't care how many shots the Knicks missed. I don't care how many rebounds they got out-rebounded by. That stuff is correctable. The bottom line is they found a way to get the win, and that's exactly what Mikal Bridges said.
Down 11, he makes the 3.
Yeah.
That's one that it's okay. You feel better about that.
Impossible shot, too.
Yeah, great.
Falling out of bounds.
He makes the
I'm
other
telling you.
3 that he made in this game with 6 minutes.
There's
to
a
go.
lot of heroes
And
in this game.
Yep,
that's when you
definitely.
say, okay. Like, you have to feel like a veteran team on the road against a young team.
Right.
That's that moment where you think, like, okay, now we're good.
Yeah.
We're right here. Yes. So he did that. He also played 43 minutes and 32 seconds of basketball today. In this game, this physical game, chasing around one of the best young players in the sport. So I'm with you. Guys like him, you can't look at his shooting when he's doing a lot of that work, just like OG Anunoby. Fighting through big, strong screens, chasing after a player who's a 32 or 33 usage percentage guy who's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. That's a lot of work for a night.
All right, guys, so Jalen Brunson, 15 points in the fourth quarter. Karl Anthony Towns had 8 points in the fourth quarter, 23 combined points. Alan mentioned they outscored Detroit by themselves, 23-22. As you see there on the screen, post-game comments now from Brunson and Cat, each at the podium.
It's different. I don't want to say it's...
Cat got them shades on.
It's definitely different. And,
Listen, when you shoot the ball like that, you can wear whatever you want.
I got my teammates got my back, coaching staff has my back, and wouldn't want it any other way.
I guess for both of you, the pool report just came out, and the refs said should have called a foul on Josh. Just kind of what you saw in that last play and reaction, and are you sweating it there as that ball's in the air?
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. Simple as that.
Okay.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, they're trying to be politically correct. They're trying to be politically correct.
They don't want to say, what about all the 15 million calls y'all missed against us? I'll say it for you.
Jalen, Mikal wasn't necessarily making his jumpers tonight, but especially in that first half, he was really good on Cade. He had a lot of possessions off the ball where was really good as a helper and contesting at the rim. When he's going well like that, I mean, you've just spent so much of your life playing ball with him. When he's going well like that, what do you notice is clicking for him when he's working so well both on and off the ball?
Yeah, he's able to be disruptive. He's able to make plays. It's just who he is. He has that ability. And since I can remember back in our Villanova days, we try not to let our offense dictate how hard we're playing. And so
Right.
he brought that over today, and he was very effective. But, I mean, we have the utmost confidence in him, regardless of what's going on.
Absolutely.
throughout the game. So, like I said, people have my back, we have their back, and that's how we want it.
Two quick ones for me, one for each of you, starting with Jalen. Down the stretch, first OG gets a stop. Cade was in rhythm, and then crunch time comes. OG gets a stop. Mikal forces a turnover, then OG gets another stop. That's kind of the ball game right there. Just how have you seen their defensive chemistry between OG and Mikal develop to what it is now over the season?
Yeah, They've been great. They've been great all year, regardless of what people say or think. It's tough to guard people in this league. I mean, this league is clearly offensively driven, and it's tough to stop players one-on-one. But you have two guys like that who just go out there and just play hard every possession, and I mean, I like our chances. It's just they've been doing that since I've known them, since I've seen them play, and I'm just happy they're on my team.
Alan, game 3, Cade Cunningham 10-25, and this one 11-23. They're doing a good job on them.
It's been good defense so far, but you got one more game to go.
All right, we'll see you Tuesday night. Game 5, Knicks win, the series is over. Pre-game at 7, game at 7:30. And also stream our coverage on MSG Plus now, the Gotham Sports app.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you that.
Yep.
I think if the Knicks, when the Knicks close this series out, it's not gonna be a walk in the park for Boston like everybody thinks it's gonna be.
Well, L here says we can beat Boston.
That's where I was going. It's so funny you put up the, as I'm saying it.
I just saying it. Here it comes.
I'm gonna tell you, this team is gelling at the right time.
Do we think they have a chance? We said it earlier. I mean, the Knicks are going to be better for this series coming out of it. And definitely if they can close it out. They played Boston tough the very last time. Granted, it was very much at the end of the season. But let's remember, Boston played their entire starting 5 against us. So people will say, oh, well, that was like the 81st game of the season. Everybody understands the chess match that this is. Boston played their starting 5 in that game because they were trying to send a message. And the Knicks were in that game. And we lost that game in overtime. We lost that game in overtime. So if this defense is clicking the way that it should, the three-point defense has been stronger in this series. The last 2 games, the three-point defense has been very, very strong. Detroit shot like 31% last game. They fell to 27% today from 3, which has been the Knicks' Achilles heel. If you can keep Boston under 35% three-point shooting, because that's how Boston's going to beat you. Boston wants to beat you at the three-point line. So if and Cat's been doing a better job not playing drop coverage, and actually when they go to that pick, he's jumping the guy to allow the other player to recover. If that continues, because again, people forget the Knicks have a top 5 offense. The offense is gonna click. And
offense has never been the problem this year. It's never
Boston is not nearly as physical as Detroit is.
And I was just about to go there. If they call this game with Boston like they've been calling all the other games, everywhere I've looked, it's been physical. Boston, I haven't seen them play one physical game all year.
That's why Orlando won game 3. If you watched it, Orlando got physical with Boston. And that's why Orlando won game 3. You got to get physical with Boston.
I take my chances. If we get physical with them, we
Bishop
can hang
Heflin,
with
you
them.
calling it? Bishop Greg Heflin says New York versus Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I signed up for it.
I'm here for it. And that's a toss-up. Because the Knicks have traditionally handled Cleveland well, although Cleveland was great against the Knicks this year. But even their final game against each other was very close down the stretch, which showed that the Knicks are starting to gel and get to that point that they weren't early in the season. I think both Boston and Cleveland, if they're still standing, will see very different Knicks teams if they in the playoffs if they have to see them.
Bro, we got a 1-2 punch that we can do an ISO at any time in the 4th.
Oh, we agree, L.
We can ISO Jalen or we can ISO Cat.
And that's scary.
And Jalen, you can isolate him out on the wing, allow him to get his shot. You can just throw it to Cat on the block. You can let Cat face up and let him drive past his defender.
Jalen has become so much of a player that if he, again, this is why we've been saying he didn't need to play hero ball. Jalen has become so much of a focus for defenses now, and you saw it in this game, that they key on him so much, all he has to do is look up and find an open man every single time. Somebody's open somewhere, and he's got guys that can shoot. Can't prove that. That skip pass across the court, because nobody was on Jalen when he came off that first screen, and Cat was above the break on the right side all by himself for that three. That was phenomenal. And L says the series will make New York a physical team. We said it. Like the Knicks coming out of this series, I don't want to be the team that has to play the Knicks coming out of this series.
LeBron is 3 for 3 with 15 points, 2 out of 2 for 3-point line. He hasn't missed.
Oh wow.
Luke
Okay.
has 19, 7 of 13. LA up by 6.
Lakers
5:40
are-
to go in the second.
The Lakers have come to play tonight, and even with LeBron and Luka shooting like that, for the Lakers to still only be up 6, kudos to Minnesota for staying in that game. And hey, Julius Randle has very quietly had a really good series.
He really has. I've been
Julius
looking
Randle
at the stats.
has had a really good series. He's averaging 21 and 9 right now in this series, and he's been a perfect Robin to Ant's Batman so far. I mean, listen, again, this may be one of, again, I said it after the trade all the way back in October. This may be a trade where both teams win.
A win-win. It's a win-win trade. You know, we're always looking to see which team got the better end of the deal. Maybe both teams got a great trade, because I'm telling you, Cat is coming up in spades right now.
Yes. And he has something to prove after last year. You know, I mean, he had that huge Game 7 last year on the road, which was big for them. So Cat can make. I think he realizes I can get it done in the playoffs, and he just has to continue to prove that. Bishop Heflin says, "Take Garden off the floor, off the court. Our defense is dangerous. Garland is a liability." I think that both Garland and Spider are liabilities. The Knicks, if the Knicks face them in the conference finals, the Knicks have to take advantage of the fact that your guards are small. They have to. The Knicks have, and it's something that I wish they would do more in this Detroit series. The Knicks should be imposing their will with their size. We are so much bigger than Detroit. I mean, granted, Detroit gets under your skin because they don't play. And you know what? I'm gonna hot take. Detroit doesn't play physical basketball. They play chippy basketball. Detroit is an irritant. Because what Detroit is doing would never fly in the 90s. Not because the 90s were better, but because the players were tougher. The players were tougher. And so this is one of the times where I'm grateful that the Knicks have the type of veterans that they do around the team, like Patrick Ewing, like Latrell Sprewell, like John Starks, who have been in these kind of battles.
Even Bernard King, you know.
Bernard King,
even
guys
Bernard
who played. Who can tell these guys, listen, stop looking for foul calls. Play through the physicality. They're just trying to get under your skin.
And tonight, the Knicks didn't complain from what I saw in the fourth quarter. They just played in the fourth. They just played. And that's what you want to see. That's what develops toughness. You take it and you keep moving.
Only problem is if we go to the Eastern Conference Final, the coach stays. This is true.
He will. Or if we take Boston to 7, he's going to stay.
Yeah, but dude, I'm with L. Definitely if we get to the ECF.
Oh, definitely if he go to ECF, he's here.
And God forbid we get to the finals, they may give him another extension.
They may build him a wing, an extra wing onto the Garden.
Listen, my dream matchup is Knicks OKC in the finals, because I want to see Isaiah Hartenstein, and I want to see the two best guards in the NBA go at it in Jalen Brunson and Shea. That would be a lot of fun. I think that would be a lot of fun for the league. There are a lot of stories from a non-basketball perspective in that. So I think that would be good for the league. So script writers in the league.
Right. Powers that be.
Let's get to making the script happen. Knicks OKC finals is good for the league. It's good for the league. The Lakers in the finals, not so.
That is a problem. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, Tibbs is here to stay he's going to be here as long as the window's open. He's not going to be going anywhere.
He will be the coach.
Yeah, he will be the coach. Yep.
And if somehow we win the championship, they're going to build him a statue.
He'll be right next to Red Holzman. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jalen Brunson, because you got to build Brunson a statue.
Oh, Brunson is getting a statue.
Listen,
he's getting a statue.
The latest billboard they put up outside of Madison Square Garden with Jalen Brunson on it, the newest Jalen Brunson Nike spot, which it says something like when the game is on the line, so is my name. And I'm like, oh,
Man, yo,
brilliant marketing.
yo, Ant-Man just did this crazy Euro around LeBron and got an and one. Yo, this dude is sick.
Ant-Man,
This,
Ant-Man is fearless, and that's what I love about him. Like
this dude is sick, man.
he's not afraid of anybody. Ant-Man is not
He
afraid.
talking to LeBron after that. He was talking to him.
Ant-Man not afraid of nobody. I like it. That would be the other matchup. New York and Minnesota would be a great finals matchup as well.
Listen, New York, LA would be a great matchup.
Eh,
LeBron on Broadway?
LeBron on Broadway in the finals would be a
Yes.
great matchup.
That's money.
That's true. But New York, Minnesota, I think would be bigger just because of the Cat Randall trade.
But you talk about the two biggest markets in the
Well,
NBA.
of course. I mean, well, that's always New York,
York,
LA is gonna
LA?
always New York, LA is always gonna be money. New York, LA is always gonna be money. So because you're gonna have the stars out at both on both sides of the coast. The celebrity row on both coasts is gonna be nuts. So
Luka's still fussing at the refs. He's still yelling at the refs as he's going up the floor.
he's never gonna change. Luka's never gonna change. And for
No
all of
defense.
his for all of his greatness, Luka plays no defense. And
He just let Ant-Man go around him and they dished it off to the dunker down low.
so I
It's only
mean,
a 3-point game.
and this is why some people felt like the Luka needed to go, but I mean, I still think Dallas was crazy for trading him because you don't trade that level of talent. But I mean, I said it before. I said it when the trade happened, and I still feel that way. I don't think Luka puts LA over the top. He doesn't.
Yo, Ant-Man, you should see the replays that Ant-Man and LeBron is going at each other. Ant-Man is literally pushing LeBron in his chest.
Ant-Man is fearless. I love it. I love it. Anthony Edwards, whether he likes it or not, is going to be the new face of the league.
It's not even going to be. He is. He can't. It's nothing you can do about it.
He has that Jordan-esque quality. Like, he's not trying to get it, but who he is on the court is just going to force it that way. Bishop Heflin said that's one thing I don't like because we're a small market team. We get jerked around a lot. I mean, Cleveland is a small market team. I mean, LeBron kind of expanded your market, him being from Ohio and playing there for twice in his career. But I don't think so much that it's Cleveland gets jerked around more than it's the fact that outside they're a good basketball team, but outside of Spider, they don't have really any marketable stars.
They have no star power.
They're because basketball is a game not just of play, but their narratives being built. There's only, and I hate to, and I'm not saying it because it's New York, and I'm gonna sound like a homer saying this, but New York is the only market where the team is the star.
Right, because it doesn't matter what team they put on the floor, they still sell out.
Right. New York is the only market where the team is the star.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what team when we were bad in the 90s and they were still selling out the Garden. That was the problem.
Still on Christmas on Christmas Day, still on national TV at noon.
Martin Luther King Day, still
national TV 3:00 in the afternoon. The team is the star because it's the New York Knicks, and I mean that's by virtue of being one of the original franchises of the NBA. But again, it's the biggest market. The NBA headquarters is in New York, so of course you're going to see that. You're going to absolutely see that. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see, what happens going forward in the playoffs. But we just wanted to jump on, obviously, on our post-game show. We will not be in our regular time slot on Tuesday because the game will be going on. But join us Tuesday night for the post-game show. After the game, we'll try to get some more MSG reactions now that we know how to kind of feed them into our feed, and we'll make those things happen as well so that you can be a part of it. Hopefully, we will be watching the Knicks and talking about Tuesday night, the Knicks closing out this best of 7 series 4-1 over the Detroit Pistons.
Southern Fried, Kentucky Fried, Church's Fried, Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5. Bishop Heflin said if we get another championship, they're going to have to pay attention to us. But are you good enough to win a championship? Again, 64 wins in a regular season. But to a man, is Cleveland really good enough to win a 7-game series against OKC, against Denver?
Ant-Man is bringing it. We got to get to this game. We got to get off.
Yeah, I got to get off here so I can get into this game that's going on.
Oh, my gosh. He just hit a blood dagger 3 to bring him back within 3.
So, yeah, Ant is coming to do it. So I'm going to go and get into this game, Lakers-Timberwolves, as they approach halftime. And I'm going to catch the entire second half. Y'all have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh. What happened?
And one on a spectacular drive by Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
55-54, he's going to the line.
Ant-Man.
Yo, he did the tween. He came out tween, drive right, back across the lane, left hand layup, off the glass and in.
Whew. Wow. So,
God, you got to see that shot.
I got to see this. Okay. So we're going to go see it. We will see y'all on Tuesday night. Once again, Orange and Blue Skies over Detroit, Knicks in 5. We'll see you Tuesday. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Yo, this is the state of emergency. Check. I need all my Knicks fans right now to grab your jerseys, your popcorn, your sodas, whatever you gotta do to get ready for this game. I don't care if you're a cheerleader, an athlete, a couch potato. We're here to restore the feeling. Matter of fact, can you say it from New York what I say from New York? Hey, yo, let's go now. Hey, yo, I bring that New York energy. Talking 42nd Street, alley hoop finger roll. Ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs, step back, hit it 3. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy just to see the Knicks play, make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us, whole city is wild. This is New York, why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty, yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese, or the lobster mac with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live by. Hey, yo, first quarter in, we gon' turn it up. Gotta warm up first, then we taking it dub. By the third quarter in, no, they ain't catching up.